Hey y'all, Irix Guy here again with another live show. And just doing a little bit different time slot. Um, just trying to bring in some viewers. I know we've got viewers throughout the world, so I want to make sure I've got a time slot that works for everyone. So this being a live show, if you comment, if you're watching this at approximately, it's about 9:20 a.m. New York City time. If you're watching then, you can comment live, you can super chat and everything. Brad, welcome aboard. Hey everyone, Brad, this evening's live show, and I've already posted the invite on my website and also the YouTube channel. So be sure to set a reminder. This evening, Saturday evening, Brad will be a live guest, and we'll be chatting about drones. This live show right now, just getting a little bit of exercise. Exercise is important, especially with it, getting so hot. It's good to, to get that workout in before it gets unbearably hot. So doing that, but yeah, it's gonna be a great live show this evening, and we've got a bunch of cool drone things to talk about. I know that Brad's dug up a lot of cool stuff, and I found a few things too. We'll talk about the refreshed Mavic 2, and I'm not gonna spoil the fun, that's for another show. But yeah, this show right now is just getting out and had my morning pizza feast. Ate about half of a large pizza, and now I'm out and about, trying to burn that pizza off, and gonna do a lot of exercise stuff throughout the morning and early day. So doing all of that obviously in preparation for the live show this evening, which I'm excited about. Oh, there's the sun, look at that. Whee! The sun is shining. So yeah, a bunch of cool things going. Something that I'm excited about is, and I know there's been a lot of questions from y'all, and I'm going to address those regarding the have you tried to fast? Hybrid Life, dude, I like to eat. And Hybrid Life, by the way, welcome to this little morning show. Hybrid Life and I are going to be, and I'll be sending out the invitation later. We're going to have a guest on the show. Now it'll be next Saturday. It's going to be a different topic, but next Saturday we're going to have Archibald Chesterfield III. He's already confirmed his availability. We're just nailing down the time, and it's going to be next weekend. So yeah, he'll be on. That ought to be an interesting show. Something a little bit different than drones. On that show, we'll be talking about, if you don't know AC3, he's the governor's governor, the guru's guru. He's from Australia, and he is a wristwatch expert. I actually tracked back to him since that would have been the early 2000s, and he's just full of great advice. He's an expert when it comes to identifying quality collectible timepieces versus stuff that's not worth investing in. So anyway, that'll be next Saturday with Hybrid Life and Archibald Chesterfield III. So this evening's live show, drones. Next Saturday's live show, wristwatches. So just kind of a different thing. Fasting, Hybrid, to your comment there. Actually, something I do is when I start to get too fat, and the way I gauge that, I just stick my fingers in my pants, and if I can't get 2 or more fingers, then I know I'm starting to get fat because my waistline's expanding. So when that happens, I don't really fast. Well, I guess you could call it that. I'll take Philippe. Welcome aboard, man. Have you decided on Nevis or I know you had a list of, let's see, it was Antigua, Nevis, St. Kitts, Barbados. Have you decided on your destination yet? Yeah, so the only fasting that I do, Hybrid Life, is I'll get tuna, just the tuna out of the pack. Sometimes I'll do that Thai flavored tuna. I like it. I don't put any mayonnaise in it. I'll just eat that. Philippe says, me too, I got more weight. Yeah, that's, it's easy to do, but yeah, I think, you know, as soon as things start to finally blow over with all this crap, I'm gonna get, you know, obviously get back in the gym hardcore. And when I do, you know, part of that rapid weight loss routine that works for me, again, it doesn't work for everyone, but I'll just eat the tuna packets, maybe with a taco shell, you know, a soft tortilla shell, because that doesn't add a lot. You know, bread will make you fat. But if I just eat that for a few weeks, I mean, I can drop, you know, 15, 20 pounds, no problem. And, you know, obviously just stick to drinking water and also unsweet tea. The unsweet tea is important. That way, at least it's like I get my caffeine, but I don't have the sugar. Philippe says also, if you drink a lot of alcohol, it doesn't help. Yeah, alcohol can be a problem, especially from two perspectives. You know, for strength training in the gym, if you drink a lot of alcohol, and that's, you know, that can be, you know, hard liquor, beer, whatever, it tends to make, you know, I found with that, if you drink a bit, it makes your strength training workouts less productive. You know, you don't seem to notice the increase in muscle mass and all of that as much. And most importantly, you know, alcohol can make your belly kind of flabby. And, you know, I'll tell you, I mean, you know, during the pandemic, you know, I've made it a practice to, you know, to drink on the weekends. You know, it's important. I mean, get everything else done and, you know, get the fitness in and this, that, and the other. But, you know, I look at it kind of as you know, kind of the weekly cleanse, especially with all this stuff going around the air, you know. I mean, not that it helps, but, you know, it's one of my weekend activities. So, yeah, but it is fattening. And, yeah, I can't wait to get back. I can't wait for all this to blow over and be able to get in a gym around other people and not have to worry about getting sick, because I miss the gym. Let's see. Philippe says, now regarding potential spots where to go. Someone told me Nevis Island, the water is not too clear. Well, and check out, and I'll have to shoot you a link, or you can search, load up my, let's see, I would have had the Phantom 4 at the time. Was it Phantom 4 or Phantom 3 Pro? But I flew one of the beaches. Here's the thing. If you go to St. Kitts, obviously if you go to Nevis, you would fly into St. Kitts, especially if you're coming from the United States. So you just take there's a car barge, and they call it a car barge, that you can put your rental car on and just ferry over to Nevis. You know, that may be what you would want to do, is stay on St. Kitts and, you know, and ferry over to Nevis. To your point, out of all the islands, I've found that the water in, to your point, in St. Kitts and Nevis, it's nice, but there's a lot. Here's the thing. There's not as many swimmable beaches as you would think there would be. And the ones that are, I don't know. I mean, I'll go out on a limb here and I'll say the best, when you think of tropical island and you think of, you know, the perfect water, the perfect sand, you can't get, at least where I've been, and I haven't been to the other places that you listed yet, but you cannot get a better beach. You cannot get a better landscape. You cannot get a better overall experience than St. John. St. John is number one. You know, you got and part of that is because the bulk of St. John is a national park. So, you know, you don't have all the development. You just got a natural wilderness area with, you know, with beaches that haven't been commercialized, which is great. But even if they were, which I hope they never are, but even if they were, the water would still be better. I don't know what it is. So the islands I did selected, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Aruba, and Anguilla. Okay, now Anguilla, I can speak about Anguilla. Anguilla has amazing beaches. And again, you know, that was, you know, you fly in there, you fly into St. Martin, and you take the ferry over, the People Ferry, over to Anguilla, and you can rent a car. There's a really nice guy I can recommend you to. He's at the when you get out of the customs office. His name's Andy, and I think it's Andy's rental car. But you arrive by the People Ferry on Anguilla from St. Martin, and you get with Andy and get your car. You know, book it in advance. Don't just show up and want your car. You know, book your car in advance through Andy's rental car on Anguilla. But you get that and you can go all over. The beaches on Anguilla, now keep in mind, you know, I was in St. Martin for over a week. I think it was 9 nights. But 2 of those nights, one of those nights was spent on Anguilla. The other night was spent on St. Bart. And then the rest of the nights was spent on St. Martin on the French end. Here's what I'll say about Anguilla. Every beach that I went to on Anguilla, and that's, by the way, that's where Sandy Island is. You know, my little intro clip where I'm flying over the island and I'm the only person on the island. That's right off of a beach called Sandy Ground on Anguilla. So you take a boat from Sandy Ground on Anguilla over to Sandy Island. The water, to your point, I wouldn't say it's any better than St. John. But I would say that 100% of the beaches on Anguilla, the water was perfect, the sand was perfect. The landscape on Anguilla is different than St. John. It's also different than St. Martin. One of the beaches, when you're thinking about, if you want the best, I would say the best backdrop and an awesome beach, Rendezvous Bay. Because when you're on Rendezvous Bay on Anguilla, you get that awesome sandy beach. But in the backdrop, you can see St. Martin and the mountains on St. Martin, you know, across the waterway. So, you know, that's cool. You go to the other beach, what do they call it? The North Shore, or there's Meads Bay. I think that's where, I'd have to look at all my videos. I think Meads Bay is where this really good drink place and restaurant was. And then there's a beach at the other end of the island, which I think may be called Long Bay. But, you know, those beaches, you didn't see the other island in the background. And when I say other island, that other island is St. Martin, because St. Bart's is way in the distance. Now you can see St. Bart's from St. Martin, but I don't think you can see St. Bart's from Anguilla. As far as Anguilla is concerned, in comparison to St. John, and even in comparison to St. Martin for that matter, Anguilla is primarily flat. Oh, dude, affordable place. I can tell you an affordable place unless it's closed up. I stayed right on Rendezvous Bay for what was it? It was a little over 100 US a night. It's called search my YouTube channel. I'm on mobile, but search my YouTube channel for Anguilla, and it's called The Great House. That's the name of it. Look up The Great House Anguilla. It's right on Rendezvous Bay. You get off of the ferry from the ferry dock. You walk through customs, and after you walk through customs at the ferry dock on Anguilla, you get with Andy, pick up your rental car that you've reserved from Andy's rental car, and after you do that, to get to the Great House, it's basically you just kind of go out to the main road, hang a left, and go down this little small road, and you'll see a bunch of goats, and there's goats in the front lawn of the Great House just climbing trees and having a good time. And it's and let me tell you, I mean, don't expect a 5-star resort experience. I mean, it's a hotel, it's a resort. It was clean, yeah. It was clean, the air conditioner worked, and the internet worked. And it had a mini fridge. It was a good stay. I had no complaints. Now, I mean, granted, and I'm a haggler, and, I'm normally a vacation rental kind of guy. Now, what I found when I was searching, and granted, this was pre-COVID. So when I was searching, obviously I went vacation rentals first. The vacation rental I got on the neighboring island, and it was on St. Martin on the French side. It was It was in a place called Cul-de-sac. Man, I got a steal of a deal for that. It was basically some guy's basement that was detached. You know, it wasn't creepy. And it was a very affordable place. Had a hot tub out by the water, walked down to the beach, had my own paddleboard and kayaks. Wife and I both had our own kayak, kayaked over to Pinnell Island for a few days. It was wonderful. Now, when I was looking at Anguilla and also St. Bart's, because again, we spent one night on each of those islands. For my budget, the vacation rentals, at least at the time, that I found on both Anguilla and St. Bart's were cost prohibitive. Now, keep in mind, I'm a very cheap individual. You know, I don't care about the luxury pillows. I don't care about the room service and all that. I just want, a place where I've got an air conditioner. That's a must when I go to the Caribbean, because a lot of places don't have air conditioner. But I got to have a functional air conditioner, and I've got to have, a place to sleep with running water. And if I get that, a lot of places down there have cistern, which is fine. That's rainwater. I don't drink it, but I brush my teeth with it. I shower in it. But, when I go to these places, I always go to the little local market and get just whatever the generic bottled water is, the big jugs, and just have that with me all week. Because I carry, actually, that's a good topic for an upcoming YouTube video, how to transport, how to drink cheap, non-alcoholic, how to drink non-alcoholic beverages like water, and how to transport them when you're at a vacation destination. So I'm gonna have to do a tutorial for that. Like after I land, after I get off the boat, how do I stock up on water that's bottled and filtered, and how do I transport that? The types of reusable drinking containers that I carry throughout the island with me. I need to do that. Yeah, I never felt unsafe at the Great House. It was an older resort. You could tell that it had seen better days, and there were some aspects of it that were in a state of disrepair. I'll have to link some videos after my walk for you, but if you just go to my Anguilla playlist, you can find them all. But yeah, I did a walkthrough. You can find it on my channel. I did a room walkthrough, our room at the Anguilla Great House. It's a basic room, but it was clean. The shower worked, had good water pressure. Again, the mini fridge was there. It worked. It got cold. Kept our beer cold. They had a little restaurant and bar on site. But the way I do it, I go down to the little store where the locals are and get the stock up on the beer. Yeah, Philippe, I don't want to set a false expectation and say that the Great House on Anguilla is phenomenal. It's just it's a room with an air conditioner and a pillow, and they have a pool. But what makes it really cool is that it's on Rendezvous Bay. So as soon as you walk outside your Great House room's door, and you walk down to the beach, you're on Rendezvous Bay, which is one of the most awesome beaches on Anguilla. There's a few restaurants on Rendezvous Beach. So, there's plenty of things. Yeah, the location is great. And you can hop in your rental car. It's just a short hop. If you want to go over to Meads Bay, I'm trying to remember the names of all those restaurants that were there. Straw Hat was one of them, all of that. That's a short hop away. And then was it called North Shore or Long Bay? The other side of the island, which was incredible as well. Anything on Anguilla is a short hop. But if you stay there, and I know you're probably like me, you want to get out and do the adventure travel, you could technically spend your entire week on Rendezvous Bay Beach, and have a great time. How much was a rental car? It wasn't bad, man. I can't remember. Let's put it this way. The price was so insignificant that I don't even remember it. Yeah, definitely. I took my drone, I think at the time, let's see, when I was in St. Martin and Anguilla, it was a Phantom 4 that I had. It was pre-Mavic 2. So yeah, I had the Phantom 4 down there. Great place for drones. Just watch out. There is a small airport on Anguilla, so be aware of that. Yeah, dude, the rental car was cheap. I rented and you'll find it in some of my videos too. I rented and I may mispronounce it because I'm not European, but a Pugo or Pugot. It was a little car that was a convertible. It was clean. It was nice. It got us around. You know, we felt like we were in another country because you don't see those Pugo or Pugot, however you say it, in the United States. So that was cool. Yeah, Anguilla was fun. It's a place I wish I'd had more time. But yeah, for just amazing beaches, amazing water, soft sand out in the water, you know, where you can walk out and you're not kicking coral on the bottom. Dude, the amount of swimmable beaches that are just very pristine on Anguilla, it's incredible. But I will say, out of all those beaches, just to go out there and, you know, you may drink, you may not, but if you want to go out there and have drink of your choice in your hand, and I did a ton of videos. Check out my Anguilla playlist. And actually, Philippe, just for you, what I want to do, and this will give me a good project for later this afternoon. So be sure to drop me a Facebook or whatever to remind me. I need to put together an Anguilla compilation video. So what I'd like to do is, well, you know, sparked by your questions, but take all my footage from Anguilla and just put together a cradle to grave experience. So, okay, this is us, you know, going from St. Martin to Anguilla by way of the ferry. Okay, we get off the ferry. Here's a car we rented. Okay, here's where we go. Here's where we stayed, the Great House. Okay, we want to go to Sandy Island. Here's a drive to Sandy Island. Well, how did we get to Sandy Island? Okay, we left from Sandy Ground on Anguilla, got on this guy's boat, and went over to Sandy Island. Where did we eat? I'll have to remember the names of the places. Some really good food on Anguilla. Really good drinks. You know, how about the trip to the other side of Anguilla? I want to put all this together in a compilation video. I think that'll provide a lot of clarity for you as far as what I'm talking about. It's a really Peugeot French car. Okay, send me a message for real, because this will be an awesome video. That's what I like these live shows, man, because, you know, we chat about this stuff and our chats trigger ideas, because all of this footage, man, all these videos that I filmed, and again, I was only one night on Anguilla, but keep in mind, one night on Anguilla meant 2 days of filming videos. So I actually captured quite a bit of videos. Even though I was only on Anguilla for one night, I captured a ton of video, and I've got, you know, those are the videos that I retain. So for me to go back, all I've got to do, because I keep everything hyper organized, so all I've got to do is go back into my Final Cut Pro, open my library file, Final Cut Pro library file for Anguilla, and go day by day and extract the footage from the key moments and put together, you know, this Anguilla video compilation for you and other viewers on my channel. And, you know, if there's anything that I highlight within that compilation video that you would like to see, you know, a more in-depth look, if I've got more footage, you know, I can create a breakout video that showcases whatever item of interest you'd like to see more about. So that's awesome, man. It's exciting. I was saying about video projects for today, and, you know, this is a video project that'll be fun, you know, in lieu of being unable to travel right now because of all this crap in the air. It'll be a fun video project, but it'll be a video project that'll hopefully answer questions, you know, that you have and probably other people that are researching post-COVID travel destinations. So, yeah, man, I'm excited. But yeah, I tell you though, that Rendezvous Bay though, when you're out there in the water, no problem. How long will it take me? Dude, I'm a very schedule-driven person. So actually, I've committed this day to to filming and editing. And, you know, that's why at, you know, shortly before 10 a.m. Eastern time, I'm out getting my exercise. Because, you know, exercise is number one. So I'm getting exercise out of the way. I've already eaten half a large pizza. So I've got my energy. You know, all I got to do is, you know, sit down in the studio and you know, start editing. So hope to have that video out for you by this afternoon, man. I'll entitle it something like Anguilla video travel compilation or something. You'll know it when you see it. It'll be the Anguilla video that I'll release today. So yeah, man, I'm excited. Thank you. Thanks for the great request, man. Yeah, that is super cool, and I'm excited to pull that those videos out of the Irish Guys Adventure Channel video archive and put it together. Now for a different topic. I'm thinking to buy a new laptop or desktop. But I hear that Apple is coming up with a new kind of computer with ARM. Yeah, dude, if you can wait. So I just switched, and this is only because I have such intense processing needs right now because of the channel, but I switched from my 15-inch 2018 MacBook Pro to a 2019 16-inch with more RAM. With that being said, right after I upgraded, Apple officially announced at WWDC, Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference, that that they're switching to ARM, which for all the non-techies out there, ARM, Apple in the past used to be PowerPC. And then they switched to Intel. ARM is a completely different processor. So all of your apps are going to have to be rewritten. It's not going to be an immediate cut. You know, Apple, my assumption, based upon what they've said and my understanding of the IT field, is that probably what we're going to see is a phased cut. I would guess, how many miles do you walk in the morning, or how much? I typically, unless I'm hiking, if I'm hiking through the woods, I'm going to do about, you know, anywhere from 7 to 12 miles. Just a morning, evening hike, 5 miles, you know, nothing too great. But, yeah, so the ARM, my assumption is that they'll probably do like their MacBook Air first. And then they may go to their MacBook Pro. I think the last one that they're probably going to go to is Mac Pro, you know, their Pro desktop. Just because they've spent so much time developing the new MacBook Pro, the new Mac Pro, you know, I would think that what they may do is, you know, make that Mac Pro, the desktop, one of the last machines that they transition to ARM. Because, I mean, there's customers, you know, top dollar business customers that have spent in excess of $10,000 for those Mac Pros, the desktops. So they want to give those people, you know, a few years of life out of it. Now, keep in mind, even once all the machines, all the apples are cut to ARM instead of Intel, even after that happens, that doesn't mean that Intel Macs are going to quit working. But what it means is that now they're in that transitional phase, you know, like they were with the you know, the PowerPC to Intel transition. You know, it's kind of like, well, you can still use Intel. I mean, you can still use PowerPC, and then it became oh, we're phasing everything out. Now it's going to be Intel only. So you kind of had a grace period where you could still use the old architecture, and then it was a hard cut. That's going to be the same with this. But I think this, the transition to ARM, I think is going to be a more phased cut. Again, hope I'm not getting this Rona, man. I think it's going to be a more phased cut, meaning that, you know, you're probably going to see the laptop first. I would say MacBook Air first. And you know what? I'll go out on a limb. I'll say MacBook Air ARM, and then I'll say iMac, but not the big iMac, the 27. You know, maybe, you know, the smaller iMac, or maybe they release a different iMac size. And that new iMac is probably going to have an improved monitor. So, you know, at that point, you'll have an ARM iMac desktop, you know, average user desktop, which are also powerful, but they're not going to displace their Mac Pro, which is their professional, you know, ultra super duper high end for film industry. So you're going to see the MacBook Air in ARM. You're going to see the iMac in ARM. And then what I think you're going to see is probably a situation where now you've got end users on there, not your power users, not your, you know, professional video editors. You can still edit. I mean, I don't buy the MacBook. I mean, I don't buy the Mac Pro desktop. It's too expensive. I'm not to that level. Gabriel, welcome back. But you're going to see a phased approach. And I think Apple, I might buy the iMac with 32 inches. 32-inch iMac would be great. I'd really, I'd love it if they put out a Mac with an ultra wide display. But I think that's what we're going to see, man. And to answer your question, I would not, if you've got tech right now, if you've got computer that'll get you by, I would not buy a new Mac right now. I would wait, because my sources in the industry suggest that, you know, that we'll probably see the first. Apple's already sent their developer kit, which is a glorified Mac Mini. Apple's already sent their develop kit to developers. It's a Mac Mini with an ARM, and they're saying, hey, you know, here's your new hardware. Make our apps work. Make your apps work on ARM instead of Intel. So that, you know, that's going to take a while. Development's not an overnight thing, even for your most seasoned developers and your, you know, your larger teams of developers. It's not an immediate process. So, you know, realistically, before the MacBook Pro with Intel, I did an i9 with 8 cores. Before that one becomes obsolete, my guess is that I've probably got 2 years of use out of that. Now, as far as how long it'll be able to be used before it's completely cut and Apple says, oh, you know, no more updates for Intel-based Macs, my educated assumption is probably 4 or 5 years. And, you know, as we know with hardware, 4 or 5 years is pretty much going to obsolete that platform anyway. You know, whether it's Intel or ARM, it's, you know, 4 or 5 years is probably pretty much obsolete. If you're a serious power user, you're probably going to be upgrading anyway. So, you know, I'm not that concerned about it. Again, with that being said, I'm not a buyer of Macs right now. If you can get by with what you've got, hold off until they release their ARMs. And I mean, they could hit the market. The lower powered systems could hit the market as early as the end of 2020, but it may be 2021 before they hit the market. Again, they just sent their developer systems out to their developers. So, you know, if they run into developmental challenges, you know, it may extend that timeline. I mean, heck, it may be third quarter of 2021 as far as we know. I'm not a developer. You know, I know how the development process works. I work with a lot of developers in various projects that my companies are part of, but, you know, I'm not a developer myself. You know, beyond writing a batch script, beyond writing a script, you know, a Unix shell script, I don't, oh, for your coffee. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it, Philippe. And dude, I owe you for that awesome super chat. You know, I owe you a really cool video. So I hope that you really find value in the Anguilla video that I'm going to put together for you and all the other viewers today. So that's always appreciated, man. You know, keeping this channel running. You know, it may be a few super chats here and there, but all of those super chats, man, it's like anything else, they compound. And, you know, that's how to keep a channel going, man. How to keep a channel alive. Really appreciate it. But yeah, hold off on your Mac, man. Wait, see how the ARM transition comes together. You know, don't be in a rush. But I'm personally excited. when the iMac with the ARM comes out, I'm going to get that, and that's going to be that'll be my desktop studio computer. Toby, hi mate, how are you doing? Doing great, man. How are you doing? Oh, and Toby, we're having a live show from the studio this evening. Brad Hendo is going to be a guest. We're going to be talking about drones this evening from the studio. Andrea, morning. Yeah, mixing up this time slot here for the live shows, doing a little morning show instead of we'll be doing an evening show too, but, just wanted to, get the exercise in before it gets too hot and just get the ideas churning. I mean, heck, this has already been beneficial. I was, I'm a scheduler, so, I've booked my calendar for the day, and that calendar has been, Toby says, oh, that will be cool. Try to hop on and watch. I'll actually be upselling the Spark and buying it. Very cool. Well, when you get that Mac Mini, you know where to go, man. Go to epicdroneshow.com or irisguy.com. Costs you no more, but it helps support my channel, man. Yeah. So let's see. Philippe said, me too. Apple ARM will perform better with the CPU and GPU. Maybe the price will be cheaper too. Maybe I'm dreaming. Well, here's the thing. The big thing that ARM's going to bring to the table for Apple is Apple will then be in control of all of their tech. They're going to have the CPUs. They're going to have the the software. They're going to own. Excuse me. Apple's going to own everything, so they're not going to have to wait for Intel to release faster chips. If Apple wants to roll out a new laptop, a new desktop, a new high-end desktop workstation, like their future Mac Pro ARM-based systems. If they want to roll that out, Apple can do it without having to wait for a third party, Intel, to release a faster chip. And even if Intel does release a faster chip, are there supply chain issues? How quickly can Intel deliver? How quickly can Intel allocate and then deliver X number of processors to Apple for Apple's upcoming machines? It eliminates that logistical challenge there. So ARM is going to be a huge thing for Apple. Yes, they could increase their prices, but I mean, Apple's a business tool. You're probably using it to make money. So that investment's probably worth it. But, man, it's getting hot. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I got my sweat in, man. Hunker down under a tree for a minute. Ooh, excuse me. That was rude. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, man. Yeah, so, yeah, that's going to be cool. But I'm excited about this because now I've got, again, I blocked out my time today because I knew that I had to do a lot of editing. Toby says, have you done any range tests with the Mini yet? I have not, but as soon as I'm back out over open ocean, I will do a range test of it and also the Mavic 2 Air, because that's something I owe. And again, I only do range tests when I'm out over international waters. But because of the current situation, I haven't had my boat out to do that. So it's been challenging. But yeah, that's something to add to the to-do list. And again, today I blocked out my time. And Philippe, get ready for that workout, man. I'm going to get ready for the video. So stay tuned for the Anguilla video. If y'all have any other video requests, shoot me a message. The best way to do it is to join the live show. Super chat me and say, hey, man, I'd like to see a video addressing whatever. And I'll be more than happy to add that to my to-do list. So today I've got, a cut sheet of to-do lists. So those videos are going to be coming out. Anything else you want, just ask. Again, tune in this evening. The invitation is already on my channel. Tune in this evening and check out my live show from the studio. It's going to be a lot of fun. Brad's going to be a guest, and we're going to be talking about drones and just all kinds of good stuff. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone's viewership. John Spizo, I think I pronounced it correctly today. You told me yesterday evening it was Spizo. I think I got that right. Andrea, see you later. Philippe, great, looking forward to it. Y'all have a great morning. I'm going to cut this morning show a little bit short. It's getting really hot out here. I'm dripping a bunch of sweat, which is good. Got to burn off all that fat before that live show this evening. So y'all have a good day. Stay tuned for the Anguilla compilation video and the live show this evening. Go ahead and add a reminder. You can find the link to the live show on youtube.com/IrixGuy or go to irixguy.com and click the most current, I think it's episode 99 of Irish Guy's live show that'll be this evening, and you can set a reminder there. Thanks for your viewership. Thanks for the super chat, the great ideas, and the continued support. Y'all have a good one.